Well, I hope everybody's doing fine. This is the extent of what's happening to me. Last few weeks, haven't really been doing much. Been hanging outside the house because it's been like minus 40 degrees. That's right, minus 40 degrees. And it's too cold to go outside to do any projects. And plus, when it's gray and gloomy like this, it's hard to stay motivated, period. Domcats. It's been so cold, and people have been wondering where you've been in the videos that I haven't been putting you in. But you can tell them that you've been on your heated blanket. It's been like minus 30, minus 35 forever. And all you care about is just keeping warm. Isn't that right, Mr. Toms? Yeah, you just relaxing? You look like you're ready to kill me. Doms. Holy, that's some nasty hair. I'm just came outside the garage for a couple hours, but that is going to be the extent of it today. It's been so cold, freezing cold. Not even going to heat the garage, just keeping it at 4 degrees. However, Amazon came by, delivered the part I have been waiting for. The new one. Look at that. We are in business. Ready to set everything back up and get it going. In case you're wondering, that's the number on the joint. And then that is the actual part number that you'll be going off of. So I need to clean that up. I'm going to use a greasable U-joint because I have one. I know some people are going to say something. Yes, I know the solid U-joints are stronger. The greasable U-joints are weaker. But I'm using what I have because sooner or later I'm going to have to rebuild that probably within another year. But let's get this going. So everybody has their own method. What I like to do, that's pretty close, is find a socket that's about the same size to help tap the U-joints in. Just taking a little pick here, cleaning out snap ring grooves. Want to make sure those are all cleaned out before you put the new one in. Because I should be careful where I tap, since I know how easy that other one snapped off. Now I like to hold it somewhere in the middle. That way when I'm tapping it down, none of the rollers are gonna go flying out. So now I'm gonna tap this below snap ring part. And I think I'm pretty close. Not one there. Everybody has their own method. She's in, flip around. Same thing. Don't want that to fall. There, now we're in. There we go. Looking good, looking good. I'm gonna repeat that process again. But I just want to put some lube in there. Get her going. Get her going. Take the cups off. Try to. Except this is where the sadness comes in, because I think I might have. Nope. Nope. Okay, we're good. We are good. We are good. I'm just gonna tap that up. Then tap it down a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. Because the last thing you want to do is to make sure you have one of those rollers that fall in, right? So now I got somewhat in place. Gonna line that up. Alright, got that down in. I could probably tap that below the line. It looks like I got it, and things are falling down because of vibrations. I got too much crap on my bench. I actually hit that down too far, but that's fine. That's fine. We're just gonna slide this over now. Tap it back down. It looks like I'm close. Let's get that in there. These do come pre-greased, but we're gonna pump the shit out of it. I hear it pop, so I know I'm good and greased up now. Well, that makes me feel good that this is assembled. And now I'm going to tell you what I like about a greasable U-joint is that the fact if it gets contaminated, you can just pump it full of grease and pump all the old crap out. Now that being said, there's another problem with that because grease will always go the path of the least resistance. So some U-joints just may not get greased as good as others because the path of the grease may not be going there. So like I'm saying is that you can start pumping this full of grease, but one cap may not get any. But that's assembled. Got one project. Well, not project I'm going to do right now. Promise you, as soon as this cold weather breaks, I'm going to cut my hair. But my Jeep's been sitting for like a week. It's been plugged in. I need to get it going. I'm going to show you a little trick that I do once a vehicle's been sitting for a week to put less stress on the battery. And this is what I like to use as a booster pack. The reason for that being, in this cold weather, you're going to drop a lot of amps right away because the battery's cold, it's not as powerful, and that's a good chance when your battery's going to short out. So by using a booster pack, you utilize the most of the power from the booster pack then, and then the vehicle will just fire up. I'm going to go outside, I'm going to show you how much easier it is on your battery. Alright, turned off the alarm. First thing I'm going to do is unplug it. You definitely don't want to start it up with it plugged in case that there's a short. Okay, keys in the ignition. Cord's gonna be in my way. So cold. So cold, there's snow on the engine. Positive, negative, press the button, turn green, run inside, start it up. Listen to that power steering whine. She's cold. See, by doing that, start it right up. Gonna let it run for a couple minutes. Get everything circulating. I know I'm good. So this is good. Fire it up, let it run for a little bit. In a couple hours when I go out, I know it's gonna start. I don't have to worry about trying to boost it. I know I'll be good. I'm not gonna lie, it's warming up a little bit. It's only like -20 now instead of -40, but deep freeze still hasn't released yet, so it still feels like it's -40. Just getting the tools set up. Everything, start putting the drive shaft in. And one of the problems I suffer once I start a project, and it's been a while since I came back out, is trying to remember where all the bolts went. I knew some went for the guard and some went for this, but I'm like, where do these small ones go? Where do these small ones go? But then I remembered, these are for the opposite side of the drive shaft that go into the transfer case, and these are the ones that go into the differential. However, I think I might have tracked down the source of the oil leak. I was talking before, it's the oil cooler. You can see there's a spot on the floor. I'm going to grab the snap-on borescope because I think the problem might be the rear main seal, which would really suck because you have to pull the transmission and shit, and I don't know if I want to go down that route. I think if I'm going to have to do all that work, I might as well just pull it and put an LS in it, but we'll see. I haven't looked in it too much, but it looks apparently like the 3.6 is like a modular engine. So you got a crankcase seal that bolts into the back, and then you know how you got your little oil pan on the bottom? Well, that part bolts on to another part, which is sort of like an oil pan, but it's part of the block, so that whole secondary modular piece will just come out as well. But let's have a look. Put the borescope up through the hole between the engine and transmission. Have a look. I just had it not that long ago, so yeah, here it is. I just do it on top of my toolbox. There we go. So you can see right there on the floor, but then coming up to those holes, looks like oil is dripping out of there. Not good. Alright, so I'm going to try to get this, maybe you guys can see in the camera, whatever have you not. I'm going to shove that up inside of there, get it in the right position. Come on, you can see it's wet in there. It is super wet. I can't find that spot now. I was in a spot before. Flywheel bolts. There we go. There we go. I just want to stick a couple bolts in there loosely for right now, so that the drive shaft can be rotated. Which means we're gonna tighten up the bottle jack here, get this front tire off the ground. Just a little bit more so I can rotate it freely. Perfect. All right, just getting those drive shaft bolts in. You want to make sure you Loctite those in. The last thing you want is your drive shaft coming out. That would not end well. I can see this drive shaft right here. If it came out, it would smash the transfer case, smash it, transmission. Yeah, would not be good. So now I'm going to attach the rear drive shaft. Front drive shaft is bolted up, Loctite it in. I like to use blue. A lot of people probably like to use red. I just find blue's easier to get it off, and I haven't had issues. The difficult part with attaching the rear drive shaft is I got a long range USA fuel tank, and because I have the auxiliary fuel tank, as you can see, I'll try to get it in the video here, I'll shoot down between, there's not a lot of room. So if this rear drive shaft ever let go, both fuel tanks would get destroyed. That would not be a good time. Yeah, this one here is always kind of fun. I don't have a tool that's going to get in there properly, so you got to do the slow process. And I talked about before, I bought the parts to rebuild this drive shaft, but it feels pretty good, and the rubber's still good, so I'm not going to open up another can of worms. Just rotating the drive shaft, make sure everything's sunk down, locked tight on every bolt. Yeah, everything's looking good. Now over there, I'm going to struggle to put that ARB skid plate back on, which is a real pain in the butt. That's a good feeling. ARB skid plate is back on. It's a real pain in the butt, but more times you take it off and remove it, you find little tricks to get your sausage fingers up in the front there. I still think engineer Johnny did a stupid design that in order to get the transfer case out, you got to drop the cross member, then remove the isolation mount just to get at one bolt. I would have been so much easier if you could just pull the bolts out for the cross member, let it drop down on some stands to get at it, and then yank it out. But no, they got to make it a lot harder than that. But I'm glad she's all back together. So a while ago I picked up this chain, and I got to swap out one of the hooks to put the hook on that I had on my winch. And the sole purpose of this chain is I'm not going to use it for any kind of towing or recovery application. I'm going to use it for recovering trees when I'm out in the bush. So if I'm out in the bush and I need firewood, I'm going to hook up the chain after I cut it down with a sling and then winch it out or drag it out with my Jeep. So that's the purpose with that. And one more thing, I need to fit up these 35-inch chains. They are for 35-inch tires, so I shouldn't have to modify them at all. So let's grab a set. Oh, these are the V-bar. Heavier than frig. Hopefully they put a tool in there as well. Yeah, there you go. There's the tool. They definitely fit. I got them on. They're not set up properly. I just threw them on. They really need to be laid out and straightened out, because you see I got all sorts of kinks in the chain, which you don't want when you're out in the bush, because those are going to cause major issues. I just threw them on quickly. See if I was going to have to cut anything down, but I think it should be good. So as a last resort is when I'll use chains, because you can see, I don't know, maybe you can see, maybe I'll get a light. Grab this O-light. So you can see from wheeling already, from the suspension bottoming out, I'm already starting to rip the corner of the fender out, and you don't want that, especially with chains. You're going to chew it up. I do have new leaf springs coming, or coil springs coming. But typically, going back to chain, typically this is what you'd want to do, is lay them out and then drive on them. And that way, you got all your links straightened out so they're not all kinked when you go to install them. Let's get this part taken care of. a pretty strong cotter pin, actually. There we go. That came out pretty easy. Come on, we fit. Oh, yeah, you will fit. There you go. Fill that fit back in. Come on. Come on. Just put that in the vise. Straighten it out a little bit. There we go. There. Good to go. This is good. Now I'll be able to choke a tree and attach it to a sling. Away I go. Alright, you know what time it is? Motherfucking beer time. I'm going to end this video here because it's time to shut her down. This video took a long time because the weather delayed the project, being like 2 weeks of cold weather. And I managed to come out today, even though it's still minus 20. Get it done. Everything's bolted back up, ready to rock and roll. Today's beer is going to be Sneaky Weasel. I don't know if it's going to focus on it. There we go. It's one of my favorite beers I got from local Sobeys. Motherfucking beer time, everybody. I'm going to get some more of that next time I head out camping. So, once again, the drive shaft's repaired, it's installed, everything's put back together. Now I just need to go out and take it out for a drive. Probably in a couple days, make sure everything's good. And then for the next little bit, I think I'm going to take it easy. Do some easy projects before I go back in and tackle the TJ, because that's going to be a while. Jeep's going to be down for a bit, but as soon as that project is done, pretty much everything is buttoned up then. And, well, I still got the suspension and the JK here, but overall, everything is looking good. I want to get everything buttoned up, enjoy the fruits of my labors, you know, do a lot of adventuring, exploring instead of working in the garage. I want to look for a job. I've already started. Had some calls, but nothing interesting. Nothing wage-wise is worth it to me. So, still holding out. And then once I get back to work, I want to start saving up money to do an LS swap in this JK. I want to get that Cummins 4BT going. I still don't know where I'm going to put that Cummins in. Still working on that. But anyways, motherfucking beer time, everybody. This is good. This is good. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.